There is also evidence of a massive cover-up with respect to 9/11 itself. The official 9/11 report, tightly controlled by the White House, amounts to little more of a gigantic whitewash. When combined with the confiscation of videotapes, audio tapes, black boxes, and other evidence by the FBI, it is clear that regardless of who was responsible for 9/11, the subsequent cover-up was itself a conspiracy involving elements of the White House and the intelligence establishment. Now this is really important because remember, Richard Nixon wasn't undone by the 2-bit break-in at the Watergate, but for the cover-up. Bill Clinton wasn't impeached for his sexual encounters with Monica Lewinsky, but for stretching the truth when asked about it. Scooter Libby wasn't convicted and then commuted for leaking Valerie Plane's identity, but for lying about when he learned about it. Martha Stewart didn't serve time for insider trading, but for not telling the truth. Now, is there anyone who believes that the Bush administration always told the truth about 9/11?
No.
Well, this raises the question. If the Bush administration had nothing to hide, why did they hide everything?
Yeah!
Were they covering up guilt or incompetence? And if it was incompetence, why was no one fired or demoted or court-martialed or even reprimanded? And if it was guilt, who were the guilty parties? Are they Saudis,
No.
Pakistanis, Israelis, Americans, all of the above? And why on earth aren't the people's representatives in Congress asking these questions and demanding answers? The American people have still not been told who was really responsible for 9/11. Dedicated researchers have proven that it could not have happened the way the Bush administration said it did. I mean, hijacked airliners do not fly around for an hour and 40 minutes without being intercepted, unless our air defense system was deliberately sabotaged. Indestructible black boxes do not evaporate in the same fire from which an unharmed passport floats to the street. Steel buildings do not implode and collapse at free fall speed because of a kerosene fire.
Nope.
Steel buildings do not collapse at all because of a kerosene fire. Never have and never will. And Building 7 wasn't even struck by an airplane. If any of you have never seen a video of Building 7 coming down, you should. Millions of 9/11 truthers believe that this is the smoking gun which proves 9/11 was an inside job.
Yeah.
But even if they're wrong, even if the Bush administration's official conspiracy theory is essentially correct, you know, the one about 19 Arabs with box cutters and an old man on a dialysis machine in a cave. Even if that official conspiracy theory is essentially correct, the American people still need to know why their multi-trillion-dollar defense establishment was unable to protect even their own headquarters from an unarmed aircraft.
Preach on.
The truth about 9/11 is that after 6 years, we still don't know the truth about 9/11, and we should. I am therefore appointing a commission to conduct a new and truly independent investigation of 9/11. It will have oversight by a few of you in Congress, by Senator Max Cleland, by Dr. David Ray Griffin, by Karen Breitweiser and Mindy Kleinberg, the families of victims, and by Sybil Edmonds and other whistleblowers. They will have full subpoena power, able to require sworn public testimony from anyone up to and including me and the previous president and vice president. I think we've had enough so-called testimony behind closed doors with no oaths and no transcripts. This time we want the truth. The new commission will investigate all the evidence, even that which seems to contradict the official story, and it will have no predetermined conclusions about who the conspirators were. There have been all too many Pearl Harbors, Gulfs of Tonkin, 9/11s, and Reichstag fires. We must make it clear that the truth will out. Never again must we allow this nation to be stampeded into war under false pretenses. Now, speaking of war, the new Secretary of Defense, the Chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff, and I have redefined two basic missions for our armed forces: deterring anyone from attacking the United States with weapons of mass destruction, and defending our shores and borders from foreign invasion. Period. This redefinition of mission, and we'll talk later about what it does not include, this redefinition of mission will, after a few years of transition, result in a peace dividend of $400 billion per year, with no one joining the ranks of the jobless. Until new contracts come out for renewable energy, non-polluting transportation, and the rebuilding of our infrastructure, there are to be no layoffs. If we can pay farmers not to grow crops, we can pay engineers and machinists not to build weapons. Among the new weapons we will not be building are new nuclear weapons and Star Wars weapons in space. Now, the part of the defense budget which is absolutely inviolable is that part which takes care of our veterans. The VA must be fully funded. The cost of caring for the combat veterans from the Iraq War alone will be in the trillions of dollars over their lifetimes, but it is a cost we must bear. The signature wound of this war has been brain trauma, and yet the Bush administration slashed the funding for the Brain Trauma Center by 50%. To create so many thousands of disabled veterans in their wars of aggression and then refuse to take proper care of them was perhaps the worst sin of the Bush administration. The care of those wounded in action, racked by PTSD and poisoned by depleted uranium, is not a discretionary expenditure to be avoided by delayed denial and bureaucratic red tape. It is a solemn obligation of this government, and it will be met.